Hi everyone, Kevin here from Golf Guy Reviews, and in today's video I'm going to give you a preview of the brand new Nike Air Max 270G golf shoes. Now these have launched here in the UK for £130 on the Nike website, and they have literally just dropped a couple of days ago over in the States for $150. Now this is just going to be a preview video today. I've not worn these out on the course, so keep a lookout for my upcoming review of these because I definitely will be giving you a full review. But for now, this is just very much a first look video. I wanted to show everyone a few of the details up close so you can kind of see them in a little bit more detail rather than just the stock images on the Nike website. And also I wanted to let you know how they actually fit on feet in case you're thinking about buying a pair of these. As I say, this isn't my full review, that will be coming soon, but for now, let's take a closer look at these. So these shoes just launched last week, and initially it was just this colorway. So you've got this kind of tan cookie color, I suppose, upper with this maroony pink air bubble at the back. And so I picked these up straight away on the day that they launched, and then the very next day they launched two more colorways and then another colorway as well. So at the moment there's 4 colorways launched here in the UK, but I have seen plenty of other different color options as well being teased from some of the pictures on Instagram as well. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty more colorways coming out in this shoe. Now Nike say this is a stitch for stitch replica of the original Air Max 270 trainers, and you've got to say that it really does have that iconic silhouette. It's kind of matched it really well in regards to the upper, and you've got this massive air bubble at the rear, which I think at the time when the trainer was launched was the biggest air bubble Nike had ever done. So yeah, this really looks similar to the original trainer that was, to be fair, it's not even that old of a trainer actually. It's only a few years old, I think. But yeah, they've done a really good job in regards to the actual silhouette. And then they've changed the upper a little bit in regards to the materials to give it a bit more stiffness, a bit help with the stability. And then they've put a dedicated sole on the bottom as well, which is going to give you more traction out on the golf course compared to a normal pair of trainers. In regards to the style and the look, then that's totally going to come down to personal preference. Personally, I was never the biggest fan of the Air Max 270. I just felt it looked a bit too, a bit too young for me, to be honest. I'm not exactly a young guy, I'm getting older by the day. And I just personally prefer the look of the Air Max 90, that's my favourite Air Max, or even just an Air Max 1. That's my kind of preference for the silhouette. So this is very much either going to be a love it or hate it kind of shoe. And if you love the 270, then I think you're just going to absolutely love this. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this shoe. Would you wear this out on the course? Is this your type of trainer, or would you like to see something a little bit more traditional? Now I think what's quite interesting with the launch of this shoe as well is that actually originally the Air Max 270 was designed as a lifestyle sneaker from Nike. It very much wasn't designed for performance. So now it's been turned into a golf performance shoe. Now, interestingly, with the other trainers that Nike have turned into golf shoes, you think you had the Air Max 97, the Air Max 1Gs, you've got the Rochers are a pair of trainers which are now golf shoes. You've even got the Infinity Tour and the Infinity Pro. They were originally running shoes. All of those shoes were originally designed for sport in performance. Not necessarily golf, but still some kind of sport or running or athletics or anything like that. This is the first pair that I can think of really that they've turned a pair of lifestyle trainers into a dedicated pair of golf shoes. So again, it's just a really interesting direction from Nike at the moment, who just seem to refuse to want to make actual dedicated golf shoes and just rather use the existing designs that they already know people know and love. So let's take a quick look at the upper in closer detail. And first of all, you can see here that the majority of the upper here is this mesh material. I say it's a mesh material because the original Air Max 270s used this mesh material, and you can just kind of see underneath there, you've got this kind of crisscross pattern on the mesh there, but it's got an overlay on it, and that's there to help with the waterproofness of the shoe and to give it a little bit more stability as well. It kind of gives it a bit of almost like a rubbery texture, not quite full rubbery texture, I suppose, if you're going to describe it like that, but definitely a bit more of a texture. It doesn't necessarily feel like a normal mesh. You've got these hot fused elements as well, so you've got a piece right along the toe box there, which I assume is there to help kind of with the protection on the golf swing. And you can see as well the fact that on the inside of the shoe, the rubber outsole comes up a little bit as well to give it a little bit more protection there, so you're not damaging the foam too much on the inside of the shoe. You've got the Nike swoosh there on the outside, and you've got a few other style elements too. So on the tongue there, you can see that you've got a Golf 270 logo with the F and the 2 kind of merged into each other. And then again on the rear of the shoe, similar to the original, you've got a Air logo on the back there, and it's kind of got this kind of padded effect to it. I think that looks quite nice from the rear, but from the rear you can just see that this shoe is absolutely dominated by that ginormous air bubble. And from the side as well there, you can really see it kind of almost protrudes at the back a little bit there. And what's really cool with this design feature of the shoe, I think, and it's exactly the same on the original shoe, is that they've made it so that the external heel counter actually kind of looks like it merges in with the air bubble as well. That's not actually one piece, they are two separate pieces there. But you know, that's quite interesting and good for a golf shoe really, because that's quite a chunky heel counter there. So hopefully you're going to get a decent amount of stability and lockdown in the heel. I hope you're enjoying this preview so far and finding it helpful. So hit that like button if you are. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date with all my latest reviews of golf shoes, clothing and tech right here on Golf Guy Reviews. A couple of other very small design points as well. You can see on the pull tab at the rear there, you've got Golf 270 on the pull tab. And on the inside too, you've got a little 270 logo and a Nike swoosh on the side there. Sorry, I know I said Nike, it's Nike. I completely appreciate that the company is called Nike, but here in the UK, I guarantee you that everybody says Nike. So I'm just trying to, you know, say Nike a little bit more. It's really hard when for the last 30 odd years you've said Nike. I'm doing my best. A couple other things to point out on the upper. First of all, you can see that the laces are kind of offset on the shoe. And that's just kind of a little bit of a unique style of the shoe, I suppose. What is more interesting, I think, about the laces and the upper is the fact that it is a one-piece construction. So there isn't really a tongue to speak of, it's just a single bootie. Now, that's kind of interesting. It's what the original did, so to be fair, they're only copying what the original Air Max 270 did, but it does mean for me that you can't really adjust the fit of the shoe with the laces. It's no good really kind of pulling the laces tighter across the shoe, because all you do is just crease this front bit really. You're not pulling the whole upper across your foot so much. So again, interested to see how that affects performance out on the golf course. Personally, while I'm not the biggest fan of this silhouette, I actually quite like this colorway. I wasn't sure about it initially when I first got it because I wouldn't naturally pick up a pair of trainers in this colorway, but I quite like the fact that this rear air bubble really stands out, really sets it apart. They're definitely going to stand out on the golf course, and I quite like this cookie color actually. I don't think that's the official name, I'm just calling it the cookie color. And the combination with the black, I quite like it. I'm kind of the opinion that if you are going to get a pair of golf shoes that are going to stand out on the course, make them really stand out. Kind of similar, you know, to the Puma RSGs there. They really stand out. That's why I got that colorway in them, because they really stand out. So again, I applaud Nike for releasing these, and actually the more I'm with them, the more I quite like them actually in regards to the color and the look. So flipping them over to have a look at the sole, and you can see here that you've got quite an aggressive sole plate on the bottom there. It's this rubber material, and it's very, very similar to the material that you get on the Air Max 1Gs or the 97G, but they have updated it specifically for these shoes, and you can see here that you've got this kind of pink material in the middle, which is a slightly different kind of texture. So again, it will be really interesting to see actually how these perform out on the course and the amount of grip that you can get from them. Now, when I first put these shoes on, I was actually quite surprised with the fit. Much like, I believe, the original Air Max 270 trainers, these do fit quite close to the foot. There's not a huge amount of room there, even though they actually look like quite big, chunky trainers. To me, personally, they felt that they actually fit quite slim, and I just about had enough room at the end of the toe box there for my toes. I'm a UK 9 and I went true to size in the end. I did buy a pair of larger ones as well. I went up to a 9.5, and although they definitely had more room in the toe box area and across the width of my foot, my heel was actually slipping a bit in the 9.5s, whereas in the 9 they were a better lockdown fit in the heel area. So I stuck with the 9s. If you have got a wider foot, then it's kind of a similar trend at the moment with a lot of golf shoes. Maybe these won't be the shoes for you because they do feel quite kind of tight and restrictive across the width of my foot there. So something for you to consider. I've not seen that they've released a wide fit version. I don't think they've ever done that with their other Air Max golf shoes, so I don't suspect that that's going to be the case with these either. But what I did quite like is the way that this kind of one-piece upper fit. I was a little bit concerned initially in regards to not having a tongue and not being able to adjust it, but out of the box, just wearing them around the house, I found them to be quite comfortable, and it actually feels quite nicely kind of wrapped around my foot initially. But again, the truth will be once we get them out on the golf course. Also with the shoes on, I wanted to talk about how they feel under feet. And first of all, I've got to say that I was really impressed with the giant air bubble at the back of the 270. As you can kind of expect, it's quite nice and soft and squishy. There's a lot of kind of bounce to it, and you can really feel it under the heel of the shoe. What I was actually really impressed with as well was the midsole of the shoe. So you can see here you've got the white foam going from kind of the middle of the shoe right the way to the front. And in other Air Max golf shoes, I found that to be a little bit firm actually. In the golf versions of the Air Max 1 and the 97Gs, I found the golf versions to be firmer than the regular trainer versions. With these, I actually found that foam to be actually really quite soft. Now, Nike haven't said specifically that it's anything in particular, you know, it's certainly not made any claims that this is React foam, and I think they'll be shouting from the rooftops if it was, because you can get Air Max 270s with React foam, but that just wasn't what it initially launched with. I think this is just a regular foam that Nike use, but it is very soft underfoot, and I was really impressed with that actually. So overall, these give a really decent level of comfort underfoot. Even though you've got quite harsh rubber traction on the sole, I was actually really quite impressed. You can feel a bit of the transition from the air bubble at the heel to the foam at the front, but I'm going to reserve judgment as to how much that impacts me and how much you really feel it until I've managed to get several rounds out on the golf course with these shoes. So make sure you tune in and make sure you keep an eye out for my latest videos, because I will be posting a full review of these shoes once I've managed to get out on the course. If you want to know more about Air Max golf shoes, then I have reviewed both the Air Max 1G, the original versions, and the 2020 versions, as well as the Air Max 97Gs, and so I'll include links in the description below so you can go check out those reviews. But I've got to say, out the box, just wearing them initially around the house, I think these do feel like the most comfortable Air Max golf shoes that I've tried so far. But again, I will let you know once I've done my full review. I really hope you enjoyed this preview today, and hit that like button if you did. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date with all my latest reviews of golf shoes, clothing and tech right here on Golf Guy Reviews.